y'all, welcome or welcome back to Chocolate Covered Pages. I'm Kiona. In this video we are going to talk about the books I read in November. And you might be saying to yourself, Chocolate Covered Pages has never done a wrap up. Oh wait, that's not true. I did one. But I don't, and it was like years ago. I typically do not do wrap ups, but I really think I want to start doing them again, like consistently. Yeah. I don't know what made me stop, what made me decide like, oh, I'm not going to do them. Or maybe it was because like I know what it was. I wasn't reading that many books per month, and I was just feeling like, oh, it's kind of dumb to just make a video like, and I only read like 4 books or whatever. The beginning of this year was just like trash. Like I was reading like, okay, two books this month, 3 here, 1 here. Like it was rough, y'all. The struggle, okay? But I'm happy to report I've already met my reading goal of, I said I was going to do 50 books for the year, and I'm already at 52 right now. So things are looking up for me. So I have been ramping up the reading over the last couple of months. In November I read 7 books. So I really do want to start doing them now. I do want to start doing them now. Let me know if that's what you want. Yeah, because I love watching people's wrap-up videos. Tell me the good, the bad, the ugly, everything about what you read in that month. And I was just saying to myself, if that's the type of video that you like to watch, why would you not make that type of video? So here we are. Let's get into the video. So like I said, I read 7 books, and for the most part this month, well, November was pretty damn good. Like at an average, I was giving these books 4 stars. Most of these books are 4 and 5 stars. So the first book I read in November, which actually was a carryover from October that I didn't finish, was Hall of Dreams by Antoinette Sherell. And this is a indie romance novel. It's on Kindle Unlimited. If you're interested, I will link all the books I'm talking about down below in the description, like I do in every video. And this book is about this book is good. First of all, it's very short. It's a novella, and it is a Halloween type of romance novel. Obviously I was reading it because, you know, we were in October at the time when I first started reading it, and I continued to read it because I ain't going to just stop reading it because we in November. I wanted to know what was going to happen. Now, this book is about a woman who, she gets a flyer, right? This woman gets a flyer when she's out with her friend to go to this party, right? It is like a Halloween party, but you have to dress very sexy. It comes across like an exclusive Halloween type party, right? And she goes there and she meets this guy, and he has a lot more going for him. We're talking paranormal wise. I'm not gonna say what his ability is, but he ain't no regular dude, okay? He's not no regular dude. He is very strong, and I will say he has the ability to make you forget things. I will say that. But I have never really hopped on a train of reading urban fiction novels that are holiday inspired. This was kind of like, October was the month that I kind of decided to like dip into them, and I was so pleasantly surprised. I was just thinking, so this whole time I have been missing out. I really have been missing out, and it made me think, I wonder if there's some more urban fiction paranormals. And of course I compiled a list, so I am going to be dipping into those because I like to read urban fiction, and then urban fiction, werewolves, vampires, shapeshifters, whatever, like talking that talk and so strong and just manly, and just they could do a whole bunch of other stuff that regular men can't do. Like, hot. That is so sexy and intriguing, especially when it's done the right way. And Antoinette Sherell definitely did this the right way. There are some more secrets we get to find out about this main character, about the woman that's in this book. We find out some things about her that she didn't even know about herself. And just their chemistry together is just very sexy. I absolutely loved it. It's so short, but it doesn't feel short in a way that like it's unfinished. And that's the problem that I have with some novellas. But this one felt just like a cute little bite-sized, you know, like you know those cupcakes baked by Melissa? They're like this little thing, and you just eat one and you just throw the whole thing in your mouth, and then you just feel satisfied. That's how this book felt for me. Just like, oh, that was good. that was all you needed. There is a book too called Darker Dreams that she came out with, which is like the sequel to this. I tried to read that. Yeah, that didn't really do what I had hoped that it was gonna do for me. And then I just told myself, you know what? This was a novella for a reason, and you should have just left this damn story alone. So I stopped reading book 2 because for me it wasn't given the same kind of. It wasn't given the same intrigue, the same magic, the same mystery element that the first book was given. Technically, it is a official DNF, which is why, you know, I only fully read that first book. And I liked it. So I'm just going to leave it at that. If you want to pick that one up, definitely do so. I gave it 4 stars because I really enjoyed it, but I would just stop there. That's just my opinion. The next book I read was The Henna Artist by Alka Joshi. This is the first book in a trilogy. The trilogy is called the Jaipur Trilogy, and this is book 1. And I really enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed this book. We follow in this novel, it's, first of all, it is set in Jaipur, India, and I just really enjoyed how this author really makes you feel like you are there. She makes you feel like you are in the Pink City. You know, the imagery that she gives us as far as the, you know, the environment, the food that's being made, what the women are wearing. Like, I loved it. In the ebook, she does give us, you know, some translations, right? As far as like what this is called, what this is, but I love that in the book, she doesn't translate it for us. Let us figure it out. You know what I mean? We're dipping in. I am a guest in this culture. So let me Google it. Let me go to the glossary if I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? I respect that. I respect that because that lets it be known, hey, this book was written for the people that are in this culture. And if you are a guest and you are reading it, it's great that you are reading it, but you're going to have to do a little bit of research. I ain't translating it for you because this ain't for you. This is for my culture. And I'm with it. Some of the stuff was self-explanatory where you could just kind of figure it out anyway. And I just, like, what a freaking story. So this book is set in this is a historical fiction. This book is set in 1950s Jaipur, India. And it starts off where we know that this woman named Lakshmi, she has left her husband, right? She has snuck off and ran to Jaipur, India, and she has begun making a life for her there as a henna artist, right? And she's a henna artist for these society women, you know, these well-to-do women that are pretty high up in society in Jaipur, and she listens to them. She also is very good with natural remedies and helping these women in many different ways, okay? Whether they need to try to have a baby, try to get rid of one, like, she is someone that people in that community would call on for many different things. She is very resourceful, I will say that. And they definitely pay her for her time, and she is privy to a lot of secrets. A lot of secrets. But what people don't know is that she has a lot of her own. She has so many secrets. And she pretty much, when she has left her original community in India and ran off to Jaipur to make this new life for her, she left behind a little sister who she didn't even know existed, right? Because she left before this little girl was even born. So she didn't even know she existed. And the little girl, her parents passed away, right? It's not really a spoiler. Like, you find out in the very few pages of the book. Her parents have passed away, so now she's an orphan. She knows that she has this older sister, so she wants to try to get to this older sister who doesn't even know that she exists. I mean, it is so much that goes on in this book. Like, first of all, it's juicy as hell. Like, it is juicy. Like, the secrets. My cup was running over with the tea. And I was just like, ooh, like, this is how they be getting down in Jaipur. The scandal, honey. The scandal. And I mean, there's sex, okay? And she's telling us, like, it's explicit. Like, it's not on some fade to black. Like, she's telling us, and I was loving every minute of it. In fact, I was loving every minute of it so much that when I finished book 1, The Henna Artist, I immediately began listening to The Secret of Jaipur, which is book 2. So I am pretty sure I'm going to be finished that book probably by the time this video goes up. I will be finished this book, because even more secrets, even more characters, I'm telling you. But what I will say about book 1 is that little sister, I'd have had to hem her up for a lot of things that she did. A lot of things that she did that affected the older sister. I'm telling you, yeah, no. I would have had to deal with her. I would have had to deal with her. But anyway, The Henna Artist. Pick this up. Historical fiction girlies, especially historical fiction girlies that's looking to expand, read some more cultures, get into it. That book was really good. I very much enjoyed it. 4 stars. Hey y'all, popping in to open book 3 in my bookish advent calendar. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you missed books 1 and 2, please check out days 1 and 2 of my Vlogmas videos, and let's get into book 3. And this one, it looks like some of the paper had kind of got ripped up a little bit. I think I know what book this might be. I think it might be, because I see a little orange, it might be White Teeth by Zadie Smith, and I really hope it's not, because I did not like that book. But let's see. Day 3. Okay. Oh, hold on. I don't want to break a nail now. Oh my god. It is White Teeth by Zadie Smith. Ah! No. Immediately no. Immediately no. This is not for me. No. I tried. Talk about being bored to tears. To tears. I was in a book club that basically was for people who wanted to read big books. And this one, like, the font is a little small, but this one is considered like a big book. Like, how many pages is it? Yeah, it's like almost 500 pages. And I was just like, oh my God. Well, I feel like I am being tortured. It's a strange book. And it's just, and I just realized, I've just come to the conclusion that me and Zadie Smith, we're like oil and water, baby. We're just like oil and water. We're not supposed to, no. You know, I respect her. You know, I like to see when she has something coming out, but it's not for me. And I've just had to accept that, you know. Some people absolutely love her, and there's more power to them. And I'm glad that she has fans out there that absolutely love her work. I have tried many times with different books by her, and yeah, they just don't work for me. So I am probably going to put this in a free little library, because, you know, somebody might like this, you know. It's just not me. So yeah, back to the video you were originally watching. Then I picked up The Woman in Me by Britney Spears because it was Nonfiction November, and I have been slacking. I mean, slacking crazy on my nonfiction this year. I think this is the only nonfiction book I read this whole year, which is terrible. What most people don't know about me is that I used to be a very big Britney Spears fan. I mean, back when I was high school, I was doing the dances. I was listening to the albums. I loved me some Britney Spears, okay? And then, I don't know, like, she just fell off, and her hair was shaved off, and I was just like, I don't know what's going on with her. I just want the music, you know, I hope she's okay. But I never really fully knew what was going on. So I read this book, and when I tell you, Britney Spears, she tired. She tired. That's the best way to put it. Like, you could just tell reading this book. I did the audio. She does not narrate the audio, which is a little disappointing, but she does say in the beginning of the book that she does narrate. She just says that, you know, some parts is just too painful for her, so she just can't, she couldn't do it, right? Okay, so we gotta respect that, right? What I like about, let's start with what I like. What I like about Britney Spears' book is that she's telling us everything. Anything you wanted to know that you had a question about in your brain regarding Britney Spears and why this happened and what happened after that and blah, 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 what was going on behind the scenes, she gonna tell us. She tell us. And I feel really bad for her. I mean, damn, like a lot of, like, imagine the people who raised you, the people you were taking care of, turn on you. Turn on you, and all of a sudden you work for them. That's the shit that blew my mind. Like, are you serious? Like, I would be so angry. But what she explains is that a lot of the stuff that she went along with had everything to do with her children. And I get it. I cannot be mad at that, you know. You don't know what you would do if you were in that situation and somebody's basically dangling your kids over your head. You would probably do the same exact things that Britney Spears did, which is nothing, and comply. When I am reviewing a memoir, I have to be very careful because you can't review someone's life, right? But what I can review is how it's written. Now, Britney. I will respect Britney for telling us all the tea, but she needed somebody to help her write this, because the book reads like she wrote a bullet points of, okay, this is what happened, and then after that, this is what happened, and then after that, this is what happened, and this year, this is what happened, because such and such and such. Okay, and then this, like, it wasn't written in a way that was compelling, if that makes sense. It wasn't written in a way that was like, oh yeah, she like, I've read some fantastic memoirs, right? And when you reading those, you just know this has been written well. There are many different ways to say what happened to Britney Spears. And I just feel like it was a missed opportunity. It was a missed opportunity to have really just written the hell out of it. And it really just felt like bullet points, like a autobiography, but just boom, boom, boom. These are the series of events that took place. Okay? Now what I will say also is that there's a special place for Justin Timberlake for what he did to Britney. That's all I have to say. But other than that, what did I give it? I think I gave it a 3.5. Because I just feel like it could have been written better. So the next book I picked up actually does not come out until March 5th of next year. But I was invited to join a book discussion for this book. So I had to read it early. And I'm just glad that I did. I'm sad that I have to wait until everybody else gets a copy next year. Because I just feel like it needs to be read as soon as possible. And that is going to be The American Daughters by Maurice Carlos Ruffin. And I really enjoyed this book immensely. I very much enjoyed this book. This is a historical fiction, which you could tell from the cover. So what I did know going into this book was that it was about a girl who was from the South, and somehow she ends up joining a group of black women spies that are working to undermine the Confederates. And honestly, that was all I needed to know. That's it. And that it was set in New Orleans, and I absolutely love New Orleans. So I'm always gonna have a soft place in my heart for books that are set in New Orleans. And this book was really good. Historical fiction, of course. And this is about a girl named Addie and her mom, Senite. Is it Senite? I think it's Senite. I think that's how you say it. They are working for this businessman that they are enslaved. Excuse me. They are enslaved to this businessman who has a home in New Orleans, but he actually has a plantation somewhere else. But at this home in New Orleans, he is keeping Addie and her mom there, and they stay there pretty much alone because he is not always there. He's there some days out the week, but then he's mostly at the plantation. I really enjoyed this book. It reminded me of The Yellow Wife by Sadika Johnson. It also reminded me of Yonder by Jabari Asim, because there's a romance in this book, right? There is a romance in this book, and I feel like the romance in this book is trying to basically show that even though so much has been taken from enslaved people, you know, they have tried to break them down as much as possible as they can to where they feel like they're nothing. But I love that these characters are still stealing away a little bit of time to find love, you know. I really enjoyed the romance in this book. I feel like it was sweet and it was organic and it was real. It was authentic. You know, it's not an insta love. It's not like everything just came full circle. That's all I will say about that. The only critique that I have is one, the very ending. I'm not even going to say nothing. It's a twist at the end, and that's it. just know it's coming. That's it, right? And then also too, this book was, I went into this book thinking that it was going to be pretty much mostly about these black women of spies, right? That are doing little things here and there to mess up these Confederates and their little plans, right? But what I will tell you going into it is that the first half of this book has everything to do with just Addie and her mom. She hasn't even met these women yet. So please keep that in mind when you decide to pick this up, if you're thinking that this is just going to be a book fully about the spies. It's not. I wish that there was more of the spies and all the things that they were doing and all the meetings and blah, 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 blah. Like, I wish there was more of that in this book. So that was the only thing where I feel like it kind of dropped the ball on. Like, we just needed some more, you know, because for the first part of this book is mostly about Addie and her mom trying to get free. Okay? So, all that being said though, I really enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed this book, and I still gave it 5 stars because I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And the next 3 books I read are all part of a trilogy called The Art of Hood Love. And these are also by Antoinette Sherell, because I enjoyed her first book that I picked up for her, which was the Hall of Dreams, which was the Halloween book. And I was like, you know what, I like her writing style. So let me see what other urban fiction romance books does she have, so you know, maybe I like them as well. And I did notice, I've seen this series around before, The Art of Hood Love, and y'all know I'm not with the to be continues, and I was very happy to see that this series was fully completed. That's music to my ears. Okay, music to my ears. I literally went from book 1, 2, and 3, just boom, knocked them all down in like a weekend, right? These books were good. These books were really good. I enjoyed them. The drama, this book is about, so the first one is called The Art of Hood Love Savvy. The second one is The Art of Hood Love Shabu. And the third one is The Art of Hood Love, the finale, right? And this book is about a girl named Savvy. And Savvy, she's had a hard life, as are most of the characters in these urban fiction books. But she has had a hard life. She starts off the book where she's living in her aunt's house, who lives there with, you know, her aunt and her aunt's husband and her older cousin Michi. And there's abuse. There's physical abuse, there's sexual abuse. So just know that if you decide to pick this up, there's a lot of abuse, okay? And eventually she meets this guy named Shabu. And Shabu is immediately kind of smitten with her. You know, she looks different to him. She don't look all done up. She don't have a weave down to her butt. She don't have lashes. And she don't have all of these things that a lot of the other women around her are having. And that's not to say like, oh, one is better than the other. But it was refreshing to him. What I will say is that Savvy has some people around her that don't have her best interests at heart. And, you know, this is a lot of things that this is one of the things that you find in urban fiction novels, is there's always going to be somebody that's shysty all the time. But I will just say, as a whole, throughout the series, I really loved how Shabu loved Savvy. And I love how Savvy wanted to protect Shabu. Shabu is the middle child. with his 3 brothers. He has an older brother named Relic and a younger brother named Titan. And Shabu feels like he has to kind of take a lot of stuff on his shoulders, right? And he's the shooter. I will say that. He is the shooter. If somebody is coming at his brothers or whatever, they call Shabu and he puts in work. Okay? Now, the younger brother, he not with all of that. He with the social media, he looking good and blah 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 blah. You know, he got money from his brothers. His older brother, Relic, he's a questionable guy. He's a questionable guy, that's all I would say. But Shabu, he has so much on his shoulders, and I think Savvy was there to just kind of be like, I got you. Like, you are all these things to all these people, but nobody has you. And Savvy wanted to be that person for him to just say, yo, I'm watching your back. I want to make sure you sleep. I want to make sure you're eating properly. You know, I want to make sure you're not on that lean. You know, like, that's not good for your body, you know. And I like seeing that. I really enjoy seeing that. I like seeing Shabu kind of step up to the plate and kind of be a man. You know, the only thing that I will say, I was riding with Shabu for a while, but the only thing that I will say about Shabu is that he kept some secrets from Savvy, and I have a problem with that. He could have been a good contender for a book boyfriend, but he was keeping secrets from her. And I understand why he was keeping some secrets from her, because he didn't want to hurt her, right? But when the secrets come out, what you think gonna happen? She's extra hurt. You know, like, this is why people say the secrets are going to come to the light, okay? And that has everything to, it just goes all the way back to poor communication. I just kept yelling for Shabu, just communicate with her. Just tell her, like, it's going to get worse for you, my dude, if you don't tell her, if you don't put her on to what the situation is. You keep trying to protect her, but like, you gonna be looking crazy, you know. And I just feel like it was doing that thing that happens in romance novels where it's a bad communication, then this person's upset, now this person's upset, now they not talking to each other, you know, and then it just goes on for way too long, you know. That's the only thing that I will say. But other than that, I did enjoy this. I just wish that they would have communicated more. That's all I you know. But at the end of the day, you know, their love for each other was strong. Like, you could feel it on the page that they loved each other, that they, no matter what, even if they wasn't feeling the other person, they was still going to look out. I will say that. And, you know, so to me, it was a, I'll give the trilogy as a whole 4 stars, because it kept me reading. I was very intrigued, and it was a lot going on. It was definitely a lot going on. A lot of little mysteries going on. So, remember that if you decide to. And don't forget about the abuse that I talked about. But that is also on Kindle Unlimited, and I will link all of these books down below in the description box. And that was the last one that I read for the month of November, rounding out my 7 books. So I would love to read a little bit more for December, but you know what? I've already made my reading goal for the year, so I'm not putting too much pressure on myself. I'm really not. So that is it for this video. If you were new here, make sure you give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.